Welcome back, and it's still Osrc News at 7. The Ondo State chapter of Nigerian Veterinary Medical Association has joined its counterparts across the country to mark this year's World Veterinary Day. Acting Chairman, Ondo State chapter of the association, Francis Ogunji, said there is the need for them as animal health professionals to be on their toes and their responsibilities to keep expanding due to emerging global challenges. Omoriola Humbeji reports that the event was chaired by the State Commissioner for Agriculture and Forestry, Mr. Olayato Aribo, alongside other dignitaries in the state.
The World Veterinary Day is a day that highlights the work and duties of veterinarians, the challenges they face in their day-to-day work, and their contributions to society. Welcoming members and dignitaries to the event, Acting Chairman, Ondo State Chapter of Nigerian Veterinary Medical Association, Dr. Francis Ogunji, highlighted the theme for this year's event, strengthening veterinary resilience as apt, considering contemporary challenges.
The essence is to remind us as veterinarians, based on our training, and then to open our horizon on the new diseases coming up, so that we don't just sit down anyhow, but we need to be retrained. We need to become more confident in facing this, especially in this one world, one health concept.
In his remark, Ondo State Commissioner for Agriculture and Forestry, Olayato Aribo, represented by the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry, Mr. Sunday Akintomide, recognized veterinary service as significant in curbing diseases of public health, especially in the prevention and control of Ebola viral diseases, COVID-19, Lassa fever, rabies, and other zoonotic diseases in the state. The commissioner also informed that as part of the commitments of the Akeredolu's administration in the state, approval has been given for the construction of a modern veterinary hospital complex.
Your profession is actively represented in the State Emergency Preparedness and Response Committee, the State Interministerial Committee for the Control of COVID-19, and the State Emergency Operations Center. I wish to say that I am proud to identify with the Ondo State chapter of the Nigerian Veterinary Association.
Delivering his lecture entitled Strengthening Veterinary Resilience, a lecturer at the Federal University of Technology, Akure, Professor Tunde Awoniyi, highlighted key elements that contribute to strengthening veterinary profession.
Developing personal insight and maintaining positivity. Positivity means I can do it, and I will do it. I have been doing it. Then the other one is maintaining supportive network.
Some members of the association, as well as dignitaries on the occasion, described the event as a refreshing one.
Our people must keep on researching. They must keep on researching. There is no shortcut. So if they keep on researching, they will find a way around it. Both the vets and the medics, they should join hands together. That is the time they can have a solution to all these things.
Veterinary is very important. Now that we have problem of meat, chicken, goat, pigs, what we have to develop.
We have learned a lot, especially self-care. As a vet, you need to take care of yourself, and when you take care of yourself, you can take care of your patients.
Attendees also said they left the event with high expectations of improved in their profession. Omoriola Humbeji, Osrc News.
The Southwest Zone of the Christian Association of Nigeria has called on the federal government to find lasting solution to the increasing violence, banditry, and terrorism in the country. The Christian body made the call in a 9-point communique issued at the end of its quarterly meeting held at the Cathedral of Peace and Excellence Methodist Church, Okpebi, Lagos. The communique, which was made available to newsmen, was signed by the zonal chairman, Reverend Father Raphael Osebon, and the zonal director of Legal and Public Affairs, Sir Steve Alabi. According to the communique, no efforts should be spared at all levels of government to ensure the security of lives and property of Nigerians and the enthronement of peace in the country. The association said it noted with great concern the near collapse of the national economy and the attendant skyrocketing prices of goods and services, which have gone beyond the reach of the common man. Authorities in Abia State have sealed off Mary Home hotels over the mysterious death and disappearance of some of its clients who lodged at the facility. While the body of a yet-to-be-identified lady was recovered from the facility, several others reportedly went missing with no news of their whereabouts. Abia Commissioner of Information, Eze Chikamayo, confirmed the development to journalists in Umuahia, the state capital. He explained that government action became necessary in view of repeated reports of death and disappearance of clients under questionable circumstances within the premises of the hotel. Meanwhile, a 40-year-old man has lost his life in Kano State in a failed attempt to recover his mobile phone which fell into a pit toilet in the state. The spokesman for the state's fire service, Saminu Abdullahi, while confirming the sad incident, said the deceased, identified as Moazu Garba, entered the soccerway with intention to retrieve his cell phone but was trapped in the process. He noted that the victim has lost consciousness by the time he was rescued while doctors later confirmed his death. The People's Democratic Party, PDP, the People's Democratic Party's Presidential Screening Committee has disqualified two of its aspirants. Chairman of the committee, Senator David Mark, made the announcement after the committee concluded its screening of the party's 17 aspirants. Senator Mark did not disclose the identity of the disqualified candidates. He said they did not meet up with the requirement for the position they were contesting for. The disqualified candidates are expecting to forfeit the 40 million naira each of them paid for the expression of interest in nomination forms. The screening, according to one of the aspirants, Aim Paz Aim, was designed to verify the candidate's membership and financial status, academic credentials, and other requirements for a presidential candidate as spelled out in the Constitution. Meanwhile, National Chairman of the All Progressives Congress, APC, Abdullahi Adamu, says the party does not regret pegging its presidential nomination form at 100 million naira. Adamu made the clarification while addressing State House correspondents after presenting the Ekiti APC governorship candidate Abiodun Yebanji to President Muhammadu Buhari. The former lawmaker explained that the move was to ward off unserious contenders and raise sufficient funds ahead of the upcoming elections. He also said the party devised the move as a step to discourage parties that have no chance of winning elections from sponsoring individuals to play the role of spoilers. Aside from this, the APC leader also said the party has not yet taken a decision on the zoning of its presidential candidate for the 2023 election. Human rights lawyer and senior advocate of Nigeria, Mike Ozekome, has said that former President Goodluck Jonathan is constitutionally qualified to run for president. While Jonathan has not declared any intention to run, there have been speculations of his plan to join the race for the top job. Quoting portions of the Constitution, Ozekome stated that if the former president decides to join the race, he is constitutionally permitted to do so. Ahead of the primaries of political parties scheduled to end on June 3, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, says it will authenticate the membership registers submitted to it by the parties. It, however, warned that any political party that falsifies its figures or has multiple registrations on its register may have its candidates disqualified. It said whether the parties choose to adopt direct or indirect primaries, the Commission would verify their delegates' list against the registers they submitted, adding that no infraction will be tolerated from the 18 registered political parties. Section 77 of the Electoral Act 2022 mandates all political parties to maintain membership registers and submit same to INEC not later than 30 days before their primaries. Still on election matters, a Nigerian civil rights activist Madu Ajaja has slammed the Minister of State for Education, Chukwemeka Nwajoba, for picking the All Progressives Congress APC expression of interest nomination form for the 2023 presidential election amidst the lingering varsity lecturers strike. The US-based rights crusader also knocked the Minister of Labor and Employment, Dr. Chris Ngige, over his declaration to contest the 2023 presidential election. According to Madu Ajaja, it was shameful and unacceptable for the supervising ministers of education and labor, under which the Academic Staff Union of Universities ASU strike fested to aspire the top job in the land. And to the foreign scene, 5 people have been rescued from a collapsed building in China after emergency teams overnight clawed through the rubble of a structure that housed a cinema and guest house. Authorities are yet to reveal how many people they believe are still buried underneath the 6-story building, which caved in on Friday afternoon in central Shanghai city. No casualties have been reported so far, but an announcement by the Shanghai said the search and rescue work is still urgently underway. A top Communist Party official was dispatched to the scene in a possible indication of the severity of the disaster. Ecuadorian President Guillermo Lasso has announced a state of emergency for 2 months in 3 provinces with the highest registered levels of violence due to drug trafficking. Another state of emergency, he had ordered the mobilization of 4,000 police and 5,000 military personnel to the provinces. In a state broadcast, the president said a curfew will also be enforced between 11 p.m. and 5 a.m. for certain areas, such as the town of Durand, located near the port of Guayaquil. Drug trafficking in Ecuador has led to an increase in crime, which has left over 1,000 people dead since the start of the year. And that's it on Osrc News at 7. But before we go, let's take another look at the major stories. Ondo State government has warned owners of business premises against unhygienic practices. About 4,000 residents have benefited from federal government's conditioned cash transfer in Ondo State. Abia State government has sealed off hotel over mysterious death and disappearance of customers. And from the foreign scene, emergency responders have rescued 5 people from China collapsed building. And that's it on the news. Thanks for watching. Good evening.